maybe me comparing ourselves was like a bad idea because that would be a disservice to myself, honestly.
I've been in my bag for a minute. I got time today, I might spend it.
What's going on, everybody? It's Tyler Xavier, and welcome back to another video. Also, welcome back to another review for the League Battle ATL. As you guys know, I am a part of the web series, the League Battle ATL, and I'm going to be recapping and reviewing each episode because I was actually there, and I was there for a lot of the things that have happened. And I just want to, give you guys a little bit of background situations, and kind of explain the whole scenario. Like I said, this is episode 3, and I'm shooting this in the morning because that doesn't really matter. But I'm drinking coffee, and usually I drink wine when I do these kind of videos, but I got coffee today because it's early in the morning and I'm not an alcoholic. That's the only reason why I'm not drinking wine, and I don't have to. So I do want to say thank you to everybody for Velvet. Shh, get out. Thank you to everybody for showing me so much love on the first review for the first 2 episodes. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the feedback, all the comments, and all of that nature. I do feel like personally I was a little scattered like with that last review, so I took notes. If you can see, hopefully you probably get my phone dirty, but I took notes, and it's like bullet point notes, so it can help me follow along, because there are a lot of things that I want to kind of touch on, address, and clear up personally. I'm sorry if y'all hear my dog back here growl. But so yeah, I just want to make sure I hit every point that I needed to hit. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get right into the review because I gotta go to work, and my phone is gonna die. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. Episode 3 picks up where episode 2 left off, and that's where me and Melly have this conversation about me saying his name to be put up for elimination. As I already stated in the previous review, what he said was false. What they showed was a whole different scenario, situation, and those two do not correlate. But because they showed it, I'm gonna just let that fly. But those two things do not correlate whatsoever. So basically, this is the conversation where it was in the trailer where I said basically we're equal, right? Like I said we're equal, and then he made a face and said that's fire, and then he threw it, whatever. That was a cool little moment and great. It was funny, cool, amazing. This is my situation with the whole thing, right? And in his confessional, he said maybe because of the Constitution, but there's no other way that we're equal. I don't, when I said that we are the same or we're equal, I was referring to the show, right? Because honestly, when we were filming the show, I didn't know Melly before the show, I barely knew him during the show, and I barely know him after the show. So I don't know what he does. I don't know what he's known for. I just found out a couple weeks ago at the premiere party that he has, I don't want to get this wrong because I'm not trying to be like shady, but I think he has like an ice cream shop, but I don't know what it's called. I don't know. I just know he has a business, which is amazing. That's great. But that's the only thing I know of him. I don't know nothing else. So, and I guess he was on other like shows like The Circle and stuff, but I didn't know that until like recently and like after the show. So, I mean, when he was like that's far and he felt bothered by it, I guess I don't really understand the reasoning because as I said in the show, you did nothing but protect the asset, which was Tonka, and Tonka doesn't need protecting, especially from a challenge where we're taking pictures and videos and having clues. What are you protecting? I think that was just a way for him to just say he was doing something when he wasn't doing anything, which is fine, that's cool, but you're not competition to me because I don't know what you do. And when I say you're equal, nobody knows what I can do either. So, I mean, we're equal. I'm gonna give it to him. Honestly, let me let me just say this. Because they were moving on from that conversation, he kept saying like it was friction and that it was friction and he needed to get me out. I was a bad vibe. And I said that it was imaginary. Like this whole situation is so imaginary. What's the issue? Like I'm very confused. And in my confessional, I did say like I see how, like, as much as Melly has a smart mouth and like a bad attitude or whatever, I can definitely match it and I can handle that. And I think people did not and still do not realize that. But Teach did say in her confessional, she was like, it's like friction or something's going on. We have riffraff, and she thinks it's because I'm like an underdog trying Melly. And this is my thing. Maybe me comparing ourselves was like a bad idea because that would be a disservice to myself, honestly. So I don't do the comparisons. Like I don't think anyone's above me. I don't think anyone's below me. I personally feel like everyone's on the same level, no matter the followers, no matter the businesses or whatever. I don't care. Like I don't care if somebody's the CEO or the janitor. You're getting the same respect, and you're getting what you're getting. Like we're both adults. So yes, in my opinion, we're not the same. But at that point in time, in that competition setting, we were equal. But we'll see how that plays out because obviously we're not that much equal. Anyway, so then we kind of moved on in the show, and this is where we were doing the first impressions. They cut out a lot of first impressions, and so I'm only going to touch on a little bit, but I want to tell you guys something about Nevaeh. So, okay. This is the thing about Nevaeh. So if you can see, there's not many times where I'm talking to, I'm gonna say V because I don't want to mess her name. There's many times where I'm not talking to V, and that's because originally, I don't know if we were filming or not, but so we went to Daiquiri Factory, and there's different sizes at Daiquiri Factory, right? Because I'm slightly alcoholic, I drank all of my slushie, but there were also 2 sizes smaller than mine. So I wanted to know, and she had one that was smaller than mine. So I asked her, I was like, oh, like, is that a small? And she looked at me and was just like, yeah. Now, I'm good at picking up on clues. So obviously, when she looked at me and said it like that, I was just like, okay, like, all right. So, but with me, I'm trying to get to know people. That's why I'm here. So I continue to talk to her. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, did you order food? And then she looked at me again and was just like, yeah. So apparently, and I found this out later, that whole interaction, and we may see, and I'm pretty sure this was not filmed for the party, but this whole interaction, she thought I insinuated that she didn't have money or something. That's what I've heard. Now she didn't tell me that directly, but I've heard that she thought that I insinuated that she was broke or whatnot. And that was not the case. It was literally me trying to get to know somebody, trying to start a conversation, and me trying to get them to drink because I want to drink. But that was just a miscommunication that we had, and we did talk about it at the party. But I don't think it was filmed. So, and I don't know if she's really gonna bring that up on the show or not. But that's that. Now, when we were doing the first impressions, Jay was saying he felt like Sherrod was the only one that felt like, oh, y'all should know who I am. Now, I didn't get that vibe from Sherrod, and apparently he does adult content. I wouldn't know. Like I said, I ain't know nobody here. I didn't get that vibe from Sherrod, but I did not know him. I still really don't because I didn't experience him that much, so I didn't really get that vibe. But I guess if you do adult content and you assume everybody there has seen it, then I guess you're like, y'all should know who I am. But I definitely don't know. I didn't know, don't know. So we are continuing on with the first impressions and whatnot, and Jay had brought up Ty and Lulu leaving the challenge together. Now, and obviously I was like, I don't want to say defending. I was just like, what are you talking about? But let me give you guys some like insight. So, obviously at Daiquiri Factory, we were all talking. Okay, we were talking. We were being, I don't want to say being fed questions, but we were talking. We had talking points and whatnot. So, one of the questions was, and I forgot who asked, was like, do we think it's any showmances? Who are we attracted to? That's why you saw everybody saying like, oh, so-and-so's attractive, and V was saying she's attractive, and Teach was saying it's not fair because, you know, it's not many women because everyone's married, da-da-da-da. But when the showmances conversation came up, Jay was like, I'm pretty sure he was like, I think Ty and Lulu has something going on because I saw them leaving together. So then that's when you guys see him saying, you know, Ty and Lulu left together. And when he said that, it sounded like, to me and everybody else, was just like they left together. And that's when I was just like, no, like that didn't happen. And I know it looked like I was going so hard. And I mean, obviously, if you guys know now, me and Ty and me and Lulu we're all cool. But we weren't really like that close to that point. But I'm just that person because I felt like the two parties weren't there. So it's just like when that narrative gets thrown around and pushed, like you never know what can grow from that. Like that's just kind of weird. We don't know these people. We don't know if Ty has a situation. We don't know if Lulu has a situation. So let's not really say that. And then also like, it's also like, it's nobody's business. If that was the case, like what if that was something, what if it was something? Because nobody knows if it was something or not, and it's nobody's business. And if it was, would they want to keep it under wraps? And it was just sad. So it was just like, I just didn't like it at that point. So that's why I did say something. But if you do know me like in real life, I am that person, and I am someone that will defend any situation. So when Teach was saying it's not fair that, you know, there's no one to flirt with because everyone's married, Jay was like, well, there was LA, and, you know, she was pretty, and Melly was like, she has nice hair, but she was like, Teach said she don't think she'd like me like right now because they had friction at the vote. And I told y'all last review, it was way more dramatic than what they showed, and I'm glad they showed a little bit of Teach kind of like going off and, you know, stuff like that, because that did happen, and they did have a little bit of friction, but it wasn't much that they couldn't come back from. And so the last little bit that you see at the table at Daiquiri Factory is the Mulatto and Melly history. So Mulatto and Melly were on this show called The Circle that is also on the same network as this one. And they have history. I've never necessarily seen it, but I can tell it's a little bit of, you know, it's when she said love-hate relationship, I get what she means. And of course, literally it's not hate, but it's like a love-hate thing, like, you know, metaphorically. And the only thing I didn't agree with Mulatto is that she said there's so much alike. And I've only experienced Melly in one way, but I've experienced Mulatto in multiple ways, and I just don't see them being the same. But also, this is an outsider looking in, and like I said, I've only experienced Melly in one way. So they could be the same, I just don't know. But I was just like, oh, you're the same? They have this like rocky relationship, but you'll see it next week, and as the season goes, how that goes. We move on to the Elite Talks. Now, the Elite Talks on this show are very interesting because I forgot what I said in a lot of them. But one thing about me, I don't lie, and if it's something that I missaid or misheard or forgot, I will apologize for it and clear that up. That's why I like doing the reviews. But with the Elite Talks, for this particular challenge, it was our team. So we had the red team and the blue team. When we were doing the Elite Talks, I personally, I was nervous because when it comes to parties, I don't do nothing. Like, I don't throw parties. If I throw a gathering, it's at my house with like 3-4 people, if that. And they're all friends, so they know what they expect when they come over here. But I don't throw parties, and I don't really know that many people. And also, at this time, I was not comfortable intermingling my friends that I've made with this new set of people that I don't really know, just because I just wasn't gonna do it. Like even now, like the new friends that I've made and the other friends that I've made while I was here, they have never really met, and I'm very particular about when that happens because I have different relationships with everybody. I don't want anything to like ever transpire to where I have to pick sides. Because one thing about me, I'm growing. I don't pick sides. I don't do that. I see the right and wrong in everybody. I'm not doing that. But I was just like, I don't really know anybody, and I had the feeling the whole time that if we lost, I was definitely going up. Like, I just knew it. And I knew that, honestly, because of the conversation with Melly. And Melly and Tonka are obviously on, like, this whole alliance thing. And the only votes I would have would be, you know, Ty and Teach. And maybe Prince. So that was a little unsettling for me, and I knew that I felt like I was a target. And that whole night at the party, I was saying, like, I'm the target. Like, I just felt it in me. So when we were going through it, we had to like make a flyer, and I'm like, I can make this little flyer. I got Canva Plus, okay, Canva Pro. And I was like, I can make this flyer. So when I showed it, they were like, it was so simple. And Melly said it looks like a science fair, like flyer. One thing about Melly, if y'all see me throughout the episodes, I think Melly is funny. Melly is a very funny person. So when he would say certain things, I would be dying laughing because Melly is funny. He's just messy, but he's funny. Towards the end of like the red team segment, Ty was like, I want to bring tequila. And by the way, that's not that night. That's the first time I had that tequila, and that's really the only tequila that I'll buy in my house. It's so good. I don't know the name of it. I wish I did. I haven't really bought like tequila for the house in a minute, but it's so freaking good. I know it's Resposado though, but yeah. But he was like, I want to get tequila so I can know all your dirty little secrets. And then everybody was like, what? I laughed, and Melly said, you can Google mine. And I don't really know if he's even Googleable, but I'm gonna jump over to the blue team. So the blue team has Jay, Mulatto, DJ, a lot of people I like. Jay, Mulatto, DJ, Lulu, V, Sharad, and am I missing somebody else? Oh, and King. Okay. They are, they're talking, and, a lot of them are saying, like, what they're saying on their end, like, they have people, they know what to do. And the only thing that we have on our side, the red side, they're the blue or the red, on our side would be Tonka, because he knows a lot of people, Jay is a really good captain, and throughout the time of the show, I do like Jay, right? I still do. During the show I did, and I still do after. And Tonka as well. And I always say, like, those are two people that I wish I would have got to know more during the show. But we were obviously kind of on different sides. So it's kind of like hard to do so, but you guys will see that. But I do really like those two. And it's funny because I think if people knew me, they would think I would not like Jay because he's kind of similar to Melly. But the biggest difference between the two of them is that Jay, he's honest. Jay's honest and he knows what he's doing. He's smart. He knows the assignment. So I can respect somebody that is honest more than just upright messy, if that makes sense. But I really do like Jay. And Tonka is someone that's very direct and uplifting. So he was a really good captain. Each time he was a captain, amazing captain. He often called himself like a mama bear, and that was kind of the vibe. But Tonka is definitely like a good captain, super direct, super nice, and I have a lot of different stories that I want to talk about later on in the episodes. But yeah, they're both very good. Even like recently today, Tonka checked me about something that I'm gonna talk about in a minute. And I like that. I really like directness because a lot of these group of people are very indirect, and I feel like being around them, they're very indirect. But I feel like those two people are very direct for the most part. There's only one time with Jay where I was not feeling it, but you guys will see that soon. Other than that though, those two are great. But anyway, so then Lulu came in a little bit later because he was throwing a shindig, I believe, like a party. He was with his friends, because I remember before we left, he was like he missed his friends. He hadn't seen them in a minute, so he's hanging out with them. And Lulu came in, and y'all, this is just funny just because y'all probably not gonna think this is funny, but this is funny as all the way. And I know, and I'm pretty sure Lulu didn't mean anything by this, but he came in and he said, yeah, who made that flyer? And he was like, King, did you make that flyer? Because I feel like it looked like one of your flyers. Y'all, he didn't mean anything by that at all. But that was so funny to me, and I think it's funny just because, like, so we fast forward to the party, and you see all of the contestants there. The challenge is who could bring the most people. So there's some behind the scenes stuff. Now, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I want to talk about, but I do not know what they're going to touch on in this next episode. So I'm gonna hold it until the next episode comes out. But what I will say is that we found the only rules we knew for the party, or for the challenge, is that we have to throw a party, right? So we're planning out what we're gonna bring and stuff like that. Now, it developed, once we got to the party and everybody was there, the next part of the challenge was seeing how much we can donate to this foundation or whatnot, right? Throughout this whole party, I was really just drinking, to be honest with you. I was drinking and having a good time. So when you look at the party, like, the VIP side did it up. Like I say, Jay's team did really good. Everyone was beautiful. Everyone looked great. But they kept saying we were late, and the only person on time was Teach. And I'm like, were we that late? Like, I know me and Ty got there at the same time. Everyone else kind of trickled in, and Prince was the last to come. Our team, like, we all discussed what we were gonna bring. Like I said, I don't throw parties, so I don't really know nobody, and I didn't know what to bring. So what I brought was paper plates, paper forks, and a cake, cause I didn't know what I didn't know what else to bring. And I was okay with that, because you know what? I contributed to the party. People use those paper plates, okay? People use those forks as well. And I think somebody ate the cake, so I contributed. Melly was like, I was randomly standing around, and I was supposed to be handing out glow sticks or whatever. The thing about that is, I was handing out the glow sticks at one point, but I was not about to just be there tying people glow sticks while everybody else can gallivant and have fun at the party. First, and second of all, he wasn't even the captain. So, and I know when Teach was introducing people, she said captain and co-captain to Melly, but he was not a co-captain. He is Tonka's friend. He is in Tonka's Alliance, and he's a part of the team. He was never a co-captain. That was never discussed. If it was, I wasn't there, but he wasn't a co-captain. So even if I wanted to stand around and do nothing, I could. But little does he know, what I decided to do was to greet. I was talking to the whole party, right? Which worked to my advantage, because when we had to start getting donations, I was getting people from the other side to donate for us. And me and Teach both. But let me tell you about Teach. This was Teach's element. Like, now I have experienced Teach in a bigger element as of recent, but at this time it was my first time experiencing how she is with the party. But she is a great host. Like, she had her people come, she was working the party, and we both ended up like getting people to donate from the other side. So we were working the party, like literally doing that. So him saying I was standing around, yeah, I was standing around when you were looking, but that's fine also, because I was having a time. It was a party. Like, me and Ty and some other people were taking pictures in the bathroom. Like, we were having a ball, like having the time of our lives. Every time you saw me on the screen, a drink was in my hand. I wasn't caring about those little glow sticks no more, because we knew who the people were. And it was like, if you really wanted those glow sticks on, how about you do that? Because I was tired. Like, I was just like, boy, whatever. So in that time, you saw me and Ty together a lot at the party. So a lot of people have, well, a few people have asked him and asked myself, when did we get as, like, when did our, like, friendship start, right? And to be quite honest, our friendship was a topic of conversation during the show and honestly after as well. It's a very weird thing that has happened, and I don't know why. But this was probably the challenge that we did start becoming cool and start like getting to know each other more. And but a lot of it was off camera. Like, we genuinely built a friendship off camera, but on camera you'll see us together more and more. And this was like the start of it. Like, I don't know what they're gonna show next week, but we were together a lot. And what I also will say, episode, it showed that I told Ty what Tonka said about his first impression was. Now, it's a little discrepancy here because in real life and in my other video, I remember Tonka saying that Ty was sneaky. And I also remember when he got told, so I was the first one to tell Ty, right? I told Ty when we first arrived, not in that moment in the episode, but obviously they showed it like that because it makes sense. But when we first arrived, is when I told Ty, before we even got in there, before anybody was there. I probably should have did it on camera, but that's just fake to me. Like, but in my confessional, I said I wanted to tell him to make sure we had a connection or something like that. I didn't like the way it sounded because it sounded like I just told him so I could use him or whatever. That's kind of the vibe I got from it. And maybe I'm just overthinking it just because I don't like the way I said it. But when I meant connection, I meant because we previously talked about working together. So in my mind, me telling him this information was like, oh, like he would think, oh, confirming like, okay, we good, we're going to have an alliance. It had nothing to do with like us being cool friends, because that was inevitably gonna happen. But I just don't like the way I said that in the confessional, but I did say it, so it's not like, you know, I'm saying anybody's lying. I did say it like that, but I just didn't like the way it came out. And I'm sure, like, I'm pretty sure Ty don't care, but if he does, I'll find out soon. But I'm pretty sure he does not. Yeah. Also, you'll see that Ty said that he's willing to work with me, and it will be called T Squared. And that is where T Squared is born. I need you guys to remember, because it was a topic of discussion, like, during the show and honestly after, and it's weird. So I want you guys to figure out why is it weird. But I'll get more into that as the season progresses. So, I think the next scene is when we kind of ambush like the blue side, which was a fun little thing for me. Like I said, I wasn't taking this party too serious. I knew this team wasn't gonna be a team forever, so why wouldn't I mingle with the blue team? Because you guys could potentially put me up, and I felt vulnerable. Like I thought it was going up if we would have lost, which we still don't know if I lost or not. So I'm like. I'm like tense, and we weren't gonna find out till the next day. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm going up, and I needed to make this connection. So when we ambush the blue team, like you see Todd dancing with Mulatto and Teach, and me just. There's a small clip of me talking to King. Me and King's relationship is going to play out in some other episodes as well. And there's also behind the scenes stuff that I will get to talk to you guys about soon. But this is the thing. For whatever reason, I kept trying to get to know King on a genuine, like, how are you kind of thing. And it was a blocker there. For whatever reason, it was a blocker there. And every time, like, I'll say something, he'll just look at me like not trusting, or like me being messy or something like that. So in that, I want you guys to remember that scene, because I remember I brought that up. I was like, damn, like I'm trying to talk to people genuinely, and they're just like, it's a blocker. And I was like, cool, because one thing about me, I'm not gonna try too many more times. And I did end up stopping. Something else happened, but I'm not gonna get into that until Mulatto let everyone know who her alliance was. And the alliance was myself, Mulatto, Ty, Teach, and DJ. And we honestly worked together, and we kept that alliance under wraps for a while, up until a last challenge when everybody kind of found out. But we kept that under wraps for a while. So at this point, me and Ty are working together, but we're also building a friendship, so that's T squared. I'm also in alliance with, honestly, Ty was my number one, so I was never going to vote against him unless I had to, but it would probably never be a point where I had to until we made it to the end, because that was our goal, was to make it to the end together. With the bigger alliance, I was loyal to that alliance. Because that was pretty much the first one, and I was very comfortable with that one because we had a lot of strong people on that side. And I have to throw this out there. Melissa was introduced, which is Mulatto's wife. First of all, you guys don't know this, but I love Mulatto and Melissa together, and I love them separately. Like, I adore Melissa. Like, me and Melissa be talking for ourselves. Like, that's how comfortable it is, and me and Mulatto talk for ourselves. But I love them together. I love them separately. And I knew I liked Melissa when she had on the blue Louis Vuitton jacket. I said, oh, this is just, she just looks so nice and she's so sweet, but she looks like a cop, like a badass cop. And I really, I love them too. And they know. And every time me and Mulatto see each other, we're like, Evie! Like, it's so, we're so giddy. But she was introduced, and I just had to make sure I let you guys know that, because she's the bomb. And I think you'll see her later in the season as well. Now, when you guys see Jay trying to ambush the red team, he couldn't really get in because we had like security or whatever. That's what he said. And Lulu was trying to get through because I told Lulu I was hot. And y'all, I'm a sweater. And I said, Lulu, please put this window up or something gotta give, like, please. But even when we were there, me, Ty, Lulu, and Prince were like drinking and taking shots. And if you saw on the screen, it says Lulu Alliance was me, Ty, Prince, and obviously Lulu. The only thing I would say about that is I don't necessarily know if that was an alliance or if we were just all cool. I mean, I guess it's kind of an alliance, but that didn't really, for me, well, I don't know. That was a little tricky when that came up. But I will say, I was really like getting to know Lulu, and I really did like Lulu a lot. Obviously, me and Ty were cool, and Prince was also nice. So, I mean, I don't, if that was an alliance, that's great. So at this point, I'm in like 3 alliances. And that says a lot about someone's character when they all want you in an alliance. And lastly, this whole Jay and Melly thing is so confusing to me because just the night before, they were all in an alliance. And I think the issue is, like I said before, Jay understands the assignment and Melly is messy. So when you don't understand, when someone's understanding the assignment and they're just talking and they're just honest, it can kind of get looked at as disrespectful. Even when Jay like dropped the glow stick on the ground, that was that was funny. That was like, oh, like he understands the assignment. So, and I guess Melly does too, but they, like I said, they're a lot alike. And the only difference is that Jay's direct and honest, and Melly is just like messy. So it's gonna be interesting seeing this play out because I didn't really know at that point. Because like I said, at the party, I was everywhere but where I needed to be. Yeah, and it pretty much ended on that note. And I'm honestly excited for you guys to see the next episode because the party gets litter. And Ty is really gonna shine in this next episode, which is great. And Teach is still doing her thing. Teach is gonna shine as well. And then also is gonna show the next challenge to where we see who goes home and we see who wins the house party challenge. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope it was a little more put together than the other one, but I feel like I still was everywhere with it. But that's just my personality. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Share the videos. And keep showing the love so that way I can keep going. I'm gonna keep going regardless. So if you don't love it, whatever. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.